prophet of old, old prophet of old, old prophet of old, old prophet of old. 'Cause John the Baptist was a truthful man, and John the Baptist was a humble man, and John the Baptist was a righteous man, and John the Baptist was a blessed man. He prophesied there is a Messiah to born, by the name of Jesus Christ. But there come a door, the beat upon his shoulder, for you my soul, oh worthy to pray, old prophet of old.
The ancient days visited me in spirit. He had the mysteries to the hieroglyphics, and he told me to reveal it. He said the masons conceal it and use it against us in secret. They're the soul trappers, God imposters, worshiping demons for profit. I study Coptic, heck a lot, macabre temple magic. Me and the gods form an invisible alliance. Spirit and matter unite. He said, Damien, pick up your sword and it's time to fight. Your sword is the light for the blind to see. He changed my name to Solomon and offered me the hat and the key. I became the magician, facing gatekeepers on my knees. The hangman in the trees, that life threw a spear between my spleen. In the holy grail my blood bleed. Angels put fire in my eyes and then they told me, Damien, read. My tears is the color of milk, it was protein. To my friends I became the fool because I spoke the truth. No matter how bad it was, Damien always had good news. My speech is soul food, my spirit roughed up bad dudes. I turned wise back into prostitutes. The knowledge was cooked food, now read. I use music to make you see. Science practice, you guys are actress. I baptize you in the fire, unlike John the Baptist. Many wanna be hard, but the only one hard is God. But you can look through God's eyes. Can you bear what you see? Can you maintain your sanity? Everyone is praying for help, but no one wanna help their self. They store their body on the shelf and use everyone else for their legs, their eyes and their hands, paying small prices but making big demands. Each soul is like one grain of sand. Everyone wanna be a boss, but they failed their street lessons and dropped out of the college course. And now they live a life of taking with force, going against their own nature, selling out their soul for favors. Now they're cheap labor, a check taker and a backbreaker. I have to go to work, I catch you later. But you work to go to work because of inflation. The prices go up now, it's a New Year's celebration. The drugs and alcohol is the consumer's meditation. It used to be the sun and meditation, but today we make the Egyptians look like they was worshiping aliens. So when your kundalini rise, you become a mental patient. And if you thought this is corrupted, soon you're gonna feel like you've been abducted and experimented on and lied to. So I leave this message out here, so hope these words can find you.
And John the Baptist was a truthful man, and John the Baptist was a blessed man, and John the Baptist was a humble man. He prophesied, boy, there is a Messiah to born, by the name of Jesus Christ, and there come a door, the pitch upon his shoulder, for you my soul.
Alright, there it is. 1, 2. Turn this off now. Alright, cool. We got the mic on now. Now we can get this started. Let me move this over. Alright. You know, Enki don't really be building about a lot of this stuff y'all seeing right here. Let me take off this slide for a quick minute too. We're gonna talk about that and a few other things. Really, we're gonna get into let me turn this slide off. Okay. It's kind of weird, man. You know, it's a lot of protests going on. You know, and I'm over here in a different part of the world, checking it out all over social media. You know, and on TV. You know, like everybody else, really. That ain't at the current area. So now here's where it takes up on a different tone. Because of that simple fact now, it's like a lot of information coming into me about what's going on over there in the United States, what's happening. So I get to give it and see it from a different perspective. And just the perspective I'm gonna give it to you from, because it's be wrong for me not to be talking about, we gotta ascend and we're here to free ourselves without actually telling the truth on what's going on from my perspective, from what I see. So on that note, let me make sure this is off. All right, there, it's off now. We're gonna talk about what's going on real quick before we get into our spirituality, because it's a lot of, riots and a lot of things going on. So from what I'm hearing, this is kind of crazy. It's like we was taught to believe certain things like voting, actually believe in our schooling system, our police, and actually we live our life not understanding what's really, really going on. And it actually became a program that when we watch TV, we have two sides to us. Just like in our body, we have duality. And these two sides became your two political party, Democrat and Republican. It's like in you, you always have duality. So now you take that duality out of yourself and you put it in your reality, and you come to one simple conclusion is that two parties could never see eye to eye, because he says make the two one. So now, being that we have two parties, you have to say, okay, what's making all these violence? What's making all these protests? What's making all these different groups come together and fight? Because it ain't the people. I come to realize people is the nicest things in the world, but it's the conditions they're under, or some type of premeditated circumstances. Now, this I'm saying it because we have a tendency to take that word conspiracy theory, and it wasn't us who invented it. It was made up by the CIA to actually make truth not look true, to make truth look coincidental, to blind everybody, or make a very thin line between truth and coincidence, or truth and I don't know. And so we live a life of believing, and believing, like I said, is the same thing like when you go to court and you ask the judge. No, the judge asks you, so did he rape you? And you tell the judge, yes, I believe he did. You can't tell the judge, I believe he did. So you can't just go on the street saying, I believe this or I believe that. Either you know or you don't know. And that's where the problem come in with a lot of these issues that we have now. We're taught in this world. Hold on, I'm doing a live. You can throw off my psyche right now. It's going to make us actually believe in something. I got thrown off for a quick minute there. Give me a second. Let me pull it together. And make us believe in instead of knowing. This now brings us into what we call the program. This program that is very playing out right now is what we're caught up in, and we have to take our mind out of it. So only Lord Enki only thing I could do is offer you a little bit of truth so that you could get to see how actually, from my perspective, what's going on there. You take it from your perspective and put it together, because a lot of things is being induced and we're not seeing how it's being induced and being played out right in front of us. The revolution is not being televised. What you're watching is a pre-set up whole orchestrated event that is under very, very, very controlled out of control chaos, you could say, but it's very controlled. But we're being manipulated in the process of it, and we have to understand that. So the reason now why I'm bringing these images that you're seeing and these posters and these, political parties is because this is very important. In looking at what took place from the George Flynn thing, this now, I would have thought was just a regular situation, but it repeated itself in different countries. That's a red flag for me, first of all. But aside from what you could scrutinize about the video, so I want to bring these to your psyche. I'm not telling you, I'm not putting you to straight to this way, straight to that way. I'm saying, what's going on? Wake up. This is what's going on. Look into this. Pay attention to this. It's because of this they have voted. And right now you realize it's almost time for voting. Regardless of what's going on, nobody don't care about you. All they care about is what do you think about that other person. They're only going to be putting down one person, but they're not no human empathy to these people. And you can see in the orchestrated events that has taken place, there ain't going to be no empathy in them with you just being the lamb, the sheep. Wake up, America. So this is where we're going to take a quick time out to plan to save the world and to pass the message on, even if we just do this for a few minutes. Because if we don't do this and we just sit in our room, meditate, and we just sit around and watch YouTube and we get our knowledge and we ascend, we got our kids. Our kids is going to be caught up in this. And I got kids all over New York, you know what I'm saying? So it had to be a point where do I just, as a metaphysicist, a person who's on a higher worlds, know not to look outside myself and participate in external events and there's consequences of it. Don't say nothing. Well, I can't do that, you understand? Because that's our purpose when we go up there to get these higher lessons. Yeah, you don't say nothing because it's the same thing the Illuminati is doing. They're not saying nothing, but carrying it out and orchestrating on innocent people that don't know no better. So on that note, that's the reason why it's important not for us to be involved in politics, but like I said, wake up and know what's going on for a quick minute because it's a big manipulation going on. So we know about the George Flynn shit that happened, and yeah, it's been happening, but why all of a sudden now does it trigger this event to occur at this present moment? I've been talking about how from 2012 we had this whole energy shift and frequency of the earth spinning at a higher magnetic frequency, and it's caused our consciousness to rise. I spoke to y'all about Kundalini is on the rise right now. Everybody that you see in protesting is in Kundalini. So with that in mind, you have people who know these things and know the esoteric and occult, science, craft, nature, the stars, everything, because you see I was planned same time for spring break. Everything is planned for a set time, And so now with this occurring, you had a series of people getting murdered at the same time. You can't just look at it from your little vocational area you're in. It actually took place in other countries. Now let's look at it from a world event, from a godly event, from a seraphim, an angel, a higher being. Step out the world, Google Earth style, and float around and see what else is going on. Is this coincidental? No, you see it's a whole bunch of other people who had the same knee into the neck area and choked. And I think that's a disrespect to humanity for us not to recognize these coincidences that's not coincidences with these merciless people or people with no consciousness looking into the camera to give you a sign. This is symbolic. This is not going to be influential to your psyche in the way you're doing it and acting out emotionally. That's the reaction. It's actually the program, the Willie Lynch, it puts something inside of you, as you can see by the reaction. That's the problem. That's what we have to stop falling into. And so by us waking up, by not understanding what we're participating in, we won't participate in it. It's the oldest thing in the world, a demon, for him to demonize you, for him to be a succubus on you. You can't know he's there. As somebody say, hey, you got a demon right there on you. You know he leaves because the energy he was feeding off is the fact you don't know. So once you know, the demon got to go. So now this is where we're going to get now. So let's take a second now. Let me see. if I could continue with these images. No, no, let me finish the story first. This is more important. Right. So now you got now these two peoples that I said how we have our duality within ourselves. These is the two wings, the two political wings. Well, these two political wings come from one family back in Bavaria. You know, this is a Bavarian family that actually first came probably out. I would say back in what we would call the Hyperborean period or the second root race period. This is prior to the Lumerian period, where we would know about just the Lumerian because that's the furthest we go back at, to Atlantis, Lemuria. But there was a period before that, and information just kept passing on with the destruction of each period. And so, with this now Hyperborean period, this is where you get these Bavarian knowledge and Norse knowledge that passed down from ancient of time. And these knowledge now actually is what they still hold on to that became a power, actual knowledge base, alchemical ascension, what we call the apotheosis, what we call kundalini. It's a bunch of names for it that is taken out of the Western world but was retained in the Eastern world, that a lot of people participated in these cults. These cults are, you could say, societies. These societies, that's what they came later. But back in the days, they was cult from your Egyptian coast. But really, it started in West Africa and the African coast, which was a big secret. That's how you had your chiefs and the different leaders. Now, later on, this became a way to control society. And so they used that power to make themselves in power. And they made the citizens of this new world, which was created by, you know, the Europeans, which is where we're going to get to later, actually made a world where they dumbed down the people, gave them just religion instead of all the books of the ancients. So our concept of the past, our concept of divinity, our cosmology, understanding of cosmology, our astrology, is all perverted and twisted through the mind of our master, or who created it, which is the king and queens. You know, as they, you know, hopefully that they just got the throne. They're not on the throne no more. And y'all need to know these things because a lot of events is playing out to distract you from these truths that you could get just you could participate in and don't know that is actually there's things going on, such as day before yesterday was Hillary Clinton really went to court for real on those email scandals, and a lot of this was to cover that up because you realize there's two groups of people, which is AFNA or whatever you call it, and then the Black Lives Matter, which is more militant groups. And as you can see, they got the people who was emotionally upset that actually is trying to fight for a change. You got three groups of people participating in or one event that was orchestrated under one name. So now, once you see these, this will make an open field for any type of anarchy to occur under the guise of these two wings. The two wings is the power pawn pieces that actually let these events occur. Now, how you say that we didn't see it? We're too busy and emotional in the moment with what happened to George Flynn that we don't see what the government is actually doing. It was a normal reaction. You know, people didn't react to events in a normal way like a SWAT team or whatever would do. It was like fall back. So you see, you get a power struggle going on between the governor and the president. So the governor is trying to make the president look bad by pulling out his little cops and making sure they don't do nothing to make the city look like it's burning down, to say, hey, you know, Donald Trump did this fucked up shit. Look how he got the city burning down. At the same time, Donald Trump already been expected these things to occur from back in the days because this is a ongoing event. Like if you didn't catch the pattern, and only way you could stop it is by actually putting in certain and implementing certain things. So he can't do nothing until the governor exhausts his options and he has no other options, which they're trying to just make his only option martial law by making these fires and all these things come out. So, a dumb president or a president who actually wanted to implement martial law had all the opportunity with these circumstances to implement martial law. But being that they didn't implement martial law, you can see that this is a pawn game and a chess game. So now, once the Afghan groups and all these people started getting called out by the pedestrian, this is when the game changed, because they started realizing it was a second group of people that was really doing the destruction of all the properties and actually causing the fires. It wasn't the actual citizens that was protesting. These is more out of towners. These is more people equipped with certain equipment, people who came with organized crime. So you see now you have organized crime, and then you got citizens, and then you got the governor and the police playing chess and mouse with the president. So all of this is all taking place at one great time, just to make sure that we don't have an influential next election or whatever these people is doing to make themselves feel a certain way. So this is what you're dealing with first. That we are the citizen watching this like a game being played out. And by us watching it, we're participating in something that ain't too, you could say healthy for us or whatever the case may be. Now, it look like I'm having issues over here. Let me see what's going on. It look like my browser just actually started resetting. I don't know if it's still broadcasting. So, it look like it's frozen over here too. I don't know what's going on, so let me see if it's still going or this thing's right here. They be making you sometimes do all this for nothing. I don't know. I can't see. Let me go to my phone and see if there's a live going on. So y'all just bear with me. Let me check on myself, because right now they got my computer froze up. Everything is froze up. And let me see. Alright, now it's coming back up. So let's see what's going on here. Alright. Okay, it look like it's still going. I see it's there at 23 minutes or whatever. So, we'll just keep it going. So let me finish what's going on so y'all understand before we finish up. Alright, so I can see it's still there. Alright, let me put this up. So now you got different groups of people participating in this little protest right here. And so I'm observing everything. I'm peeping this out, just watching. And and I'm listening to other people videos that saying spread the message, spread the word. So let me explain to you, when the people came out to protest, they wasn't protesting because there was actually the George Flynn situation. The protest was more deeper than that. It was more about what's going on inside the government or the crooked people. It was more about the pedophile thing that had been brought up. The Obamagate shit, the Pizzagate shit, the Frizzle drip and all this other stuff that came up. Those things actually was what got the people protesting and upset. Now which take you into a whole world. The reason why it's a world, because it now demonstrates how everything we've been seeing and participating has been orchestrated in a negative way. Only reason you'll know this and understand this is I was first taking out the Matrix. We're gonna call what they're experiencing or what we were experiencing with all the protesting and everything, the Matrix. And the Matrix is controlled by psychology of the mind. And so now when I was able to leave that, I had a lot of disorders, dysfunctionalities. a lot of diseases and sicknesses and taking medication, overweightness, and really not doing too well, including erectile dysfunction. All these added up now to make me spending a lot of money on medicine just to look like an American. And when I actually started transcending and learning and going through my own alchemical change and losing the weight, realizing it wasn't the medicine I need to heal myself, it was the sun, all this other stuff, I started realizing I didn't know all this and I didn't see all of this. And how come this was always here and I never really paid attention to it? So I realized we are programmed, or we are what we call under mind control. Our mind is being controlled not to see what's the obvious good things for us. Our senses can't see which one is the right choice because we was never offered the right choice. We was always offered the wrong choice, a whole bunch of wrong choices. So we always thought the wrong choice was the right choice. So with that in mind now, this is where it's hard for us to understand the game that is being played on us, and it looks like a conspiracy theory, but it's not. So on that note now, I'm going more go deeper into this so you understand. With what happened with this guy they called Joe Epstein and Podesta getting caught with this laptop, this was all over Hillary Clinton when she was supposed to be in control of a certain part of Afghanistan or Kavakar, whatever the hell the name of it is. And they wanted to do a report on how it was going there. And they check her email and shit and they find other shit. And she tried to hide other shit. So that's the investigation going on now, really, where she was in court for just about 2 days ago. If you look, you'll see the emails. You could just Google if Hillary Clinton was in court. They made it like a video court. They even have it on YouTube posted. So these things is real. They're asking about these emails. All these things is coming up. You know, so when people starting to investigate this, they're seeing more that they've been lied to, and there's another story going on between the West and the East wings. These two power pieces that I was first telling you about last when I said the mayor actually pulled back the cops from doing everything. You can notice no cops came. Everything was being burnt down, and it was the militia group that was paid by the government. These people has been doing this from that walk all the way from like Guatemala or the end of fucking Mexico or South America all the way to New Mexico at the border or whatever. That long ass walk was paid for by that dude George Soros. Now you look into him, they're all connected as one umbrella. This is what makes it interesting. So why people is keeping up with it. Now he's going down with Podesta and Stein or whatever. They got these these funny island that they actually bring all the celebrities to actually initiate them. And by this initiation, that's what they call the insurance policy, where they have them do sexual things with little kids while they video it to just keep it on file. That's how it got caught on that guy Epstein laptop, because that's what I guess he's the insurance broker for everybody in the world. So he's like, you know, that show Blacklist. This is some Blacklist shit. Go watch Blacklist and you understand who Epstein will be in Blacklist. He'll be that dude that know everybody's darkness and know everything, and they orchestrate everything, so they control who go to jail and who don't. So anyways, that's what you get right there. So now this start coming out, and you can see the emails, the names is on the list. These names now tied to not just celebrities, but their organization, which tagged them in a big pedophile, what else? Trafficking, sex trafficking, body parts of the thing. It just go into deeper and deeper stuff to money laundering and all the people that's snuck into the government as these secret agents of the dark shadow forces. I don't want to say names, that's why I'm trying to keep it cool. Y'all know what it is. So anyways, now our job is to awaken to this reality, to awaken to these things that's going on, and don't just take everything for what we see. And I'm talking your everyday thing. Like, you wouldn't think that your food you're buying at the supermarket was purposely put there to poison you, but it was written and pre-mandated a long time ago. Only thing to give them is poison. So once you realize that, You're not. Nobody's there to help you. Doctors was trained to teach to kill you. That's it. It's no in between. It's like the movie The Eraser is going on. That's why Americans is flipping out. They're mad about that. They tired of the games. So this is why they had our parents, why they got this far under those laws and circumstances. But the kids now is not having it because they see it again. And it's been coming in the form of this energy that started in 2012. And this energy has been coming on different groups of people all over the world to make them get into this I don't give a fuck and flip out shit. When this occurs, governments get toppled. But United States having their people under control through food, mind control, media, they've been able to keep their peoples from going through that Kundalini from 2012. But it was building up into mental tension as so many people were starting to get on psychotic drugs, and a whole bunch of other back problems started coming up like crazy. A lot of fertility problems started coming up. These is Kundalini activating, and the pressure just built up. So the George Soros event, which was orchestrated, was nothing more than the second part of the COVID plan that didn't work either, because God, there is a force, a spirit that is actually working with us, because the young generation, this is where it get metaphysic part now, because this doesn't just happen for no reason. We could point fingers all we want, but this is a spiritual. You want to know the universal cause of it, and it's evolution. We've been denied evolution through this Illuminati system or this governmental system we're under, because it's giving us the opportunity to just relax and not do things for ourselves, while they do everything for us and make the billions, zillions, quadrillions of dollars, while we making 10 cents, 5 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, and think that's living. And so the nature has made it inside people now that the young generation evolve, and they're not having it. They want equality, and this equality, they're not allowing the parents to get involved, because you got the gods and you got the ones who made the gods. This is a whole different system going on here. So one is only going to want peace and unity and love, and the other one is going to want destruction to bring about a new. So that's the ones now who want destruction and a new, which is just the young, which is going to be the one. The reason why you can't stop the young is because the old is about to die off, and the young was going to be the old. So it's the young who have to do this and set and configure this world for how they're going to do it in the future. So old people don't have nothing to do with this no more. This is a young people thing now, because the young is the future. Old people only going to want to do what the master say. Yes, master, keep the world it is. Make the place nice. If you notice, you listen on the radio, on the media channels, all they're telling you is, look, they're breaking up and taking the computer. Nobody's saying anything about human things like, the consciousness of the people, or how they've been living in poverty. They just actually like, why is nobody not protecting the Apple store? Why? How come they're able to go in there and take it? It pissed them off to see people take things for free. It picks them off to give away, give something back. And you know what? Let's get back to after the game now. Because we at the point of the game where it's a standoff. The mayor now don't want to actually send the police in there, because he's trying to make the president look bad. The president can't really make his move yet until he gets to a certain level, because you remember he's military. So now, here go the next play. Once he sends out, and it's really him who sent out the code that is Antifa and Soros and his people. The people is working with him. You see, it's something deeper going on. You got in a group of people that you could say the president caused that protest, and it's his peoples out there representing to a certain degree. But you're going to have two forces out there, but this is the all-around principle right now. He waited for that minute, and once he announced that it was Antifa, you see the crowd started turning on the people who was actually making the rioting and making not the rioting, the breaking into the stores, the stealing, the burning of the building, the turning over the car, and all of a sudden they flip their cameras around and catching the police and those psyops that is actually making everything look like it's them that's doing it, or it's in the urban area this is happening. And so now all of a sudden by day 3 everything quieted down, but it started where Trump laid down the last law, which is very important because the second day he's telling them you need to use force. Second day he was like, now the military is going to be enforced. And everything now, you see, as soon as the mayor realized what was going on, and he had to send his police in to do their job, as soon as they even go like this, boo, to the protesters, they start running and go away. They didn't have no balls in them to fight back. They didn't want none. All they got to do is go boo or bust a shot. Bah! Everybody scatter. They could have did that the first day. It wasn't like the people was going to be violent anyway. They could have did that, but they made the people look like they was actually not these little cowards that you see with the police go boo, two police go boo, the whole crowd splitting and backing up. Back in the days, niggas would have went through the police like it was nothing. But these new generations are soft. But anyway, they got heart though, the heart that we didn't have from back in the days. This is the difference. So this now with the ambition and a very balanced scale for justice is what we have. The color barrier shit is thrown out the window, man. We went through that a few years ago. Everybody know that was actually put into us. We ain't looking at the back no more. Because after the color is over, you still got the crocodile in the pond that is eating the kids, and the unaware thing is making society bad. So you got to clean out the pond, as the saying go. So now with that in mind now, once the governors make the police now start reinforcing and doing their job. You saw all of a sudden now the little rioting ass people and the militia groups disappeared because they started calling them out on video, showing their little bricks and all that, because it wasn't the people. All right, so look at it like this now. Who is actually doing this? Or why are they doing this? And okay, now I said they're doing that. Why the president don't actually put up a task force and stop all this? It's like they know what they're doing. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. No game, no you. Game. So now you see what's going on. So he raises the stakes now, and he brings out the military. By him doing that, and you got to realize that could have been done a long time ago. I think that was being prepared from months ago. If you go watch videos prior to that, look where they were sending military to different peoples, was posting videos of how military was set in place for a certain event that they think was coming up. Well, this is the event, but it didn't go down like this, and you got to realize no martial law has been called up to this very moment. There's a reason why. You understand? Because the people who was trying to incite martial law is called out. This is where it gets now deeper into politics. If you want to follow politics, we'll get into that in a minute. But I'm giving you the basic story of what is going on so you have a full understanding now. So now with the military coming out, everybody now just one buck. You see when the ground police shoot, they shoot and hit the people with the grenades and the gas tanks all over them and make the beanbag bust all over them, and but the military shoot it over their head and make the gas come down and everybody disperse. So now look, you got everybody in their right perspective, even though they're trying to make it look like, yo, Trump made this happen and that happen. Like I just broke it down to you. That was the chess game. The in-between is going to have to be a talk for y'all to watch, because one group is going to say, he made this happen and everything was his fault. The other group is going to try to say he's just an exercise of power and this is let the people protest and this is a peaceful protest. So you got two groups of people that's saying the same thing, which is just to get your attention. So all those people out there who don't know what's going on and is participating in something unconsciously, go look around the world to see how it's the same people paying for these little militia groups to come up. They'll start the first incident to incite it. Nobody really get mad like that. I think they paid the first group of people like 400,000 to go and walk, and then everybody else now feel it and do it too. It's all premeditated. The food we eat is premeditated. The medicines we're being fed is premeditated to kill us. The education that we're being taught is to dumb us down, not to educate us, just so they can stay educated. The religion and science they teach us is not real. Everything is being called out now, and it has made these docile sheep creatures that's not human. that we can't control our emotions, control ourselves, and we ain't built for fighting. Obviously, look at how everybody look. It's nobody built for fighting, and I would give everybody their credit though for it wasn't about fighting, and that's what everybody needed to prove with this Aquarian age. It's not about going out there and swinging bats and actually busting guns. It's about what you see there. The same thing I've been telling y'all. It's about knowledge, wisdom. Everybody that is coming out there who's representing actually had something to say, got a good head on their shoulders, and was not coming out there just to go make trouble. And so it's important for us to understand these things because you're going to be told a different story to try to influence you to vote for one party or another party. But look at everything on a whole. If you did, you do you see any human emotion being expressed for anybody, including the family victim of who passed away? And if I'm wrong for what I'm saying about anything, rest in peace to George Flynn and all the other people who passed away. And I'm sorry for it, for anything in this broadcast that could feel offensive. This is just my views, my opinion of a universal thing. Even hopefully he didn't just get caught up in a play that repeats itself all over the world, and sorry to hear he'll be a victim of it. But this is just how life goes. I know from personal experience. I've been in the Fed prison, did Fed things, and so I know when you playing in these games, these high level games, they're under control, supervision. Everything is monitored to a T. That's why all these crises, all these pandemics is controlled. These is all controlled. Like the World Trade Center shit was a controlled bombing. These was all control epidemic, control virus. And so it's only targeting certain aspects or certain agendas. And we have to realize that. So keeping it moving now without causing too much stirring up. You got different parties that's involved in criminal cases behind a lot of this stuff here, and it's like two mafia families that run the world now. And these two mafia families is at war, and we're just caught up in the middle watching it like it's a TV show with the mafia family controlling what you see on TV, and with them not telling you no truth on TV. So let's talk about fake news for a quick minute. What is fake news? All right, fake news is not what you think. Like when you go to milkbox.com and you read an article there, that's not fake news. Milkbox.com now is real news. Fake news is ABC News, CBS News, CNN News. Your basic TV channel news is called fake news. Your basic TV shows is called fake TV. Because why? It's orchestrated and run by those business owners that actually provide the situation for you to believe. It's not actually what occurred at the moment. Sometimes it's just within the frame of that camera that event is taking place. And if you was to pan left and right, you're in a situation, like I said, it's not real. So they're famous for this, and they're doing it all throughout this situation that we're in right now and playing it back and trying to manipulate. The next level is words. When they talk words, they try to influence you to think a certain way or influence your beliefs to stray towards this way or that way. And we tend to be patriotic towards these beliefs. So you have to be careful with words. You have to look for what you see cycles and this algorithms of things happening and occurring over and over again, and pay attention to details because it's the details you get the answers. And so with that in mind, you're getting a greater understanding that this thing what we're seeing playing out holds a lot too with actually distracting us from something. This COVID, as you can see, it's not nothing because everybody's outside and nobody's really serious about it. It was never serious, and it didn't work. And so being that they didn't work, that's why this next level come. And believe me, something else coming after this and something else coming after this as these pedophiles and these people go to prison. Who was in this caught up? You got Obama caught up. You got a whole bunch of celebrities caught up. You got a bunch of senators and politicians to a bunch of big leaders. These are all facts. Y'all got to be reading newspapers now in the small parts of it, or watch these what we call real news now, those off-branch news that telling the truth, and the fake news is not going to broadcast the real shit that is happening. You don't see nothing about Hillary Clinton went to court 2 days ago and the judge denied her whatever she was trying to get, and she have to testify now. So you don't hear none of these things that's important for what's going to happen tomorrow. All you're seeing is the events played out to distract you from it. So I hope you get an understanding of what's going on. Alright, so that's basically why I had to really put out that little beginning thing, so we could get a quick awareness of what's really good. So once we get that awareness now, let's see, we could take it to the next level. Let me see what's going on over here. I see, what's good, Mike? Gabrielle Bedford, peace and love. Mike Donovan Whiteside, yeah, it's crazy out here. Yes, it is. Yashe Ra, what's good? Orbs. So 101, why is it that the spirit doesn't want you to give the knowledge? Wow, that's how it is, man. It don't. I wonder if y'all could hear this. Speaking of the spirit, don't want to give the knowledge. You know what's going on my end over here? I don't know if this is still broadcasting because all of this is funny. Is it still there? I know it's stuck. Will these people really be stopped? Alright, yeah, I see y'all still there, so that's good. I didn't know if it was still rolling. Okay, I'm looking at the live stream now. Yeah, these people is being stopped right now. That's what the distractions is about. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're actually in court right now. Alright, let me go deeper into it so you get what's going on, because that's a good question. Will these people be stopped? And that's from Mike. No, they're stopped now. It's over, but these are the remnants of it being over. We're going through a transition. It's going to be a lot of changes because with them, a lot of systems that was there is not going to be there no more, and we have to reinvent ourselves. Much less is going to be a new opening, a new, you could say, blank space of opportunity for a whole bunch of things to be brought into existence. It's just a lot of cleaning up has to be done so everything could be put into its proper perspective. Really, this little propaganda that's going on, you got Donald Trump on his side, right? And then you got the Clintons on the other side. They represent like a collage, an umbrella, and him, he got an invisible umbrella that as well too. Now what you got now is one already fell, but now everybody's got to be cleaned up. So they can't let you know they fell. So they put up a bunch of lightning storms and thunder. So you look up or you run inside and you can't see what's going on the streets while it's raining and storming. They out there fighting and shit, and you don't see that. Cases is going to court. But for you, it's raining and it's storming. So every time it's raining and storming, you think that it's just a rain and storm, or in your case, your rain and storm is COVID or this protest. But no, these is court dates. These is people trying to get out their appeals that they hide behind these so nobody could actually go and actually keep this on docket, on record. These things make it into LexisNexis or record precedented. That's why they even trying to keep it off the basic local web so that no record of this could go into existence, because this is an embarrassment not just to the American public but to the whole world. You understand what I'm saying? So they trying to keep it off record. That's why, like I said, you see the queen is gone. You look at really what happened with the queen. The little boy got caught. Everything was fine. You go back probably to the little boy that was hanging off the rope. This is how bad it got. The world shut itself down. The earth is doing the purging. How is it that a person is just happen to be going past the Buckingham Palace and recording the actual the Buckingham Palace when the little boy hanging from a sheet is trying to come out, hanging butt naked? The little boy was for real, and he actually died when he fell off the sheep, which brought the police there, which brought about a whole bunch of stuff. Where you see now, the Buckingham Palace is closed. The Queen don't have her shit on, and it's a whole bunch of conspiracy theory about what's going on. But the bottom line is her reign is up. That she's not the Queen no more, which is gonna bring about a whole bunch of other change, because the Queen was the Queen of the North of America too. So she was the Queen of America, but not no more. So you're going through a whole transition. You got Donald Trump, who's tied into JFK and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's two Illuminati family that is fighting for what we call our rights, our who control this part of the matrix. So we're gonna go through a change. What I'm trying to tell you is be aware of what you eat. Be aware of the deception. Be aware of what's going on around you, because it's not what you think. That's my main thing that you need to know. It's not a matter if it's stopped, but once you catch the algorithm of what's going on, then you'll be able to stop it yourself. Let me see if I could pull up some pictures so you can see. This is the Mike. Oh, I know that's you, Mike. What's going on, Michael DeLine? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right, so let me pull this back up real quick. So, all right. So when y'all see these little, slides coming through, they're coming through for a reason, because they're for real. You understand what I'm saying? This is telling you the manipulation that they're trying to do to get them to actually, to get you on their side. You know, you don't see it, but these is actually, let me see. Okay, let's see if, I wish I could pause it right here. What's Obamagate? Let me see. This is telling you what's going on. And so you got these people being brought up on charges that really have court cases now. So all these things is being played out, and we don't know that they actually are the ones that's making all these protests. They go around to countries from back in the days in Africa and actually how you said, disassociate the country by making militia groups or people that go against their country. This has been done from way back in the days with Cecil Rhodes and a few others. So you got to understand their role in this right now while we going through this is they was always here, but they choose when they want to attack. And so by you seeing these things, so what's the odds of a white cop staring into an HD camera for 8 minutes with his knee in his neck? You get to see these people plot these things. And these plots is what we're watching out to control our psychology. And so you don't fall into it, but you understand who the enemy is. You can't be blindsided. Vaccine. These are the ones that they try to enforce vaccines to try to get you to take them. So you got to be aware of these things. If you're not aware of it, these things will mess you up. Just like, you see these images, these is of the guys, the players of the game that you're watching. Both of these, this one that was in prison and the one that ain't. Not saying that they all associated, but it's all still one family. Alright, so let's take it into a higher level now, because these images is just, propaganda that they put on the media. It doesn't say that Trump is actually down with all of that stuff, because he exonerated himself. They used all this to try to set him up. I don't want to make it seem like he's in this as a pedophile himself or anything like that. Now, that was part of Hillary and them stunt to try to set him up, but it didn't work. Even the pictures of him, that's him and his daughter. So this you get to see is different families that is participating in making these events play out now that we're experiencing, and I do believe they are going to go to prison. So on that note, even if you look into this woman, Nancy Pelosi or whatever, she's going through hell in her own town. Everybody's booing her out because they know what she's doing. Alright, so I just want y'all to understand what's going on, so you don't think these protests is just about George Flynn death or other people. This is deeper than that, and it's going to go on for a while. They want to get to the bottom of these little images you're seeing right now of like these pedophiles and all this stuff. That's what this is about, and this demonic stuff. Alright, so let's get into the teachings now real quick before we go, so I could teach you about Kundalini and why they do this. This is going to be about why they do this. So, let's take it into this one now. Turn this off. This off. Alright. We're going to get into these lessons now. Man, I want y'all to know this thing is so for real, and just actually pulling up the data that I have pulled up to pass on to y'all. I wind up getting all my phones don't work no more. I don't have no phones. All my electronic devices broke, from my tablet, and I'm saying they all broke in the same way. First, I'm just getting a black screen, and not just only a black screen. It just, then the charger port stopped working on all of them for some reason. I don't know why. What was that about? So now, with that, my other phones just went out. So I have really an old phone, because 3 phones just broke all back to back. So y'all gotta bear with me till I get it together. And I do believe this is actually them doing it on purpose, because all of them share the same problem. One is a S9 and 2 iPhones. All of them just all crashed, and the screens just went black on me. Same thing even with my computer. And I do believe it has something to do with that. It wound up now, once I started doing this investigation, they even banned me from Western Union. And I called Western Union to see what happened. Western Union said it wasn't them. They don't have nothing to do with it. So you have a lot of things, like when you start learning this information or going into this, that actually it brings about a lot of problems in your life. If you don't want no problems, just watch this video and leave it at that. Don't go and start researching for yourself and going into deep state and the deep web and all that stuff, because it do bring problems and attention to you in ways that sometimes we're not ready for it, because like I said, I already just got banned from MoneyGram and all that place for no apparent reason. I've been doing that for years. So I'm just giving you an example of what's going on. I got this refreshing right now. Let this swirly thing stop spinning so we could keep it moving. So just give me a second as this load. But as I was saying though, these things is for real, and what we don't realize what's going on also, it's very important for you to know, they're using us for the vote. The vote is all they care about. When you hear the persuasive conversation on the media, they playing out the events that occurred in the protests as though you use it to persuade you to vote for one party or the other party. They don't really looking at it from a human point of view, and that's where the problem is, because these people are protesting from a human point of view, but it was incited for political reasons, and so they're not hearing it, and this gonna lead into another stage of it, because that's what they do. You understand? So I'm just giving you a good example of what's going on, so you could actually get a better understanding. Alright, hold on a second. Let me see what's going on. Okay, here we go. Now, we talking about this picture right here. The lion incarnation of Vishnu, Narsimha, kills the demon Hiryakshasipu. Seppuku. All right, this is important, right? Why all of a sudden you see the lion incarnation of Vishnu? So obviously the lion right here is Vishnu. This is Vishnu right here. You see this? It says the lion incarnation of Vishnu. But the thing to this, right? He kills the demon. Who's the demon? The man is the demon. I'm going to run this over you. Do you see what's going on here? The lion incarnation of Vishnu, right, is not the demon. The demon is the human being, as reflected in the demonization of us humans by the elite, by the people in politics, by the Illuminati, demonizing us. So when you transform into yourself, that is actually these beings out there that's protesting these young gods, these young Vishnu, Narsimha, they actually is killing the demon. And now when you're seeing this, right, I'm going to tell you what's going on here spiritually so you get a metaphysical perspective of this. He's not, Vishnu is not like how you see it on top of him killing him, right? He's sleeping. He turns into Vishnu, his higher self, his other self, and is killing his carnal self. This is one person. His higher self, that's the beings you see like in Egypt, everywhere. And when you come into your higher self, you know the soul don't look like how your mother and father look. The soul had many mothers and fathers, same soul. You understand? So it ain't going to look like that. It's going to look like the primordial being that have been. So it's going to look more animalistic. That's why it's called the anima in Sanskrit. I just want you to understand that. So, you know, don't think nothing crazy. And, you know, we've been Europeanly taught to believe certain things, but it's not true. All right? Hold on. This spinning. Let me go back into this and turn off the preview. I think that's what's holding this up. 1 second. Let me turn this off. Where are we at? Let me slide. Once I turn this off, then we're good to go, because it's actually making it run a little slow. Alright. Yeah, you know the thing about this is that, you know, they're going around inciting riots in every country under these like little political parties. I see it. They're gonna try it out here as well with another same coup type thing by saying how it's too much crime here, and you know we need to contain it, so the people need to step up and go protest to the government. So you got these actual firms or these companies such as your Black Lives Matter, that for us is some distribution company that is actually trying to incite the people to go against the government right now too out here. So I'm trying to tell you that this is not something just local. They're doing this shit all around the world, you know, and trying to incite it for one common cause. So don't fall for it. I'm putting you on. Just watch all the moves that's going on. So now back to this. I was saying that, you know, this is the highest self of this person, but his lower self will have these desires to want to take over the world, like how you see the Illuminati's doing. And unless his higher self come in, and as you can see, it's coming from his abs, it's coming from the same place where Jesus gets stabbed with the sword, it's coming from where his adrenochrome is at. This is where your adrenaline, or what is it called? The adrenaline organ is at, right there where they go and stabbed Jesus or whatever the case may be. So you're going to see it again reflected. Let me see if this come up in this next picture. It's reflected here in this image right here. You know, we're going into getting a greater understanding of what these Illuminati know that we don't know, of what's going on in the world that we don't understand, and how is this possible, and how could they organize and get it. Because when you're talking the Masonic rites and all the different rites, that they all are part of one. When I said they're all from Bavaria and part of the original Bavarian family, go back to Count Drac and all this other stuff, because they go and tie in to now what's called the Etruscans. These was the last group of, you could say, Negroes before the race turned into another. That's the fifth of a sub race that formed the sixth root race, which is when we come into existence, or they came into existence as the first Romans. You understand what I'm saying? So they came through the line of the Etruscans, which was the fifth sub race of the third root race, I think it was. Was it the third? So anyways, these is where all this information come from. Now, let me get this going real quick. This images ain't working with me. This computer's slow as hell. Alright. Yeah, we back on now. Let's see if we can run through this right. Let's see if I could cover the screen a little more. Alright. Now you got Vishnu right here. You see, you repeating the same image that you repeating from the other one. This will be your lower self, and this will be your higher self. And you're always going to see the opposite of how you would think. Like, remember now, this lower self right here will be the demon. You are us in the flesh with our desires or what we believe. And this will be our higher self. As you can see, he looked like the demon, because the simple fact is to hold this one down, or the real demon, the one who don't pay attention to the real higher self or your soul, you're going to have to be this type of a being, just to be looking at each arm as like his jealousy, envy, lust, and hate. That's it. And he has to hold them down with these things. That's every human being. Now, I wanted you to come to understanding that inside of you, that you have these spheres. These spheres is what actually you have to learn. You're going to see these come up in all types of different forms. But the most important you will see is in just the halo when you're looking up into a light, when you look up into a sun, when you drop a pebble into the water. These is nature's symbol. These ain't like, you know, man's Judas and made this up. What you're doing is looking at these patterns over here is leaves. What do you think these are? Leaves, and the pattern in the leaves. Man noticed this in nature a long time ago and knew its reflective ability, its conductivity, its ability to transform energy into sound and light. And so they always put it into their drawings, or what we call picture glyph, because it's inside of us. These represent a photon in light. Light reflected will make a little circle, as you will see if you look at it from a fixed out of focus. And in each one, you're always going to see this. This is where you come from. This is you and your original self. If they ask you where you at in you, you're in one of these little phonon, a light inside your DNA, and you're sitting in there just like this. This is why you're here. This is the real you. That's what they're showing you, but they can't tell you these things because they will control you. Even around the edge of here, you're sealed in it by the dragon. You see, it's a little double-headed dragon right there and right here. This is all that's inside you. These is what is called chakras. If you never knew what chakras was, that's them right there. So now let's keep it going. Why these is important is because they left them in codes for their peoples. And these codes was interpreted in medieval drawings or whatever. And these medieval drawings is what they codified them. And you see him with the same circle holding the circle. Behind his head you see the halo. You have to know these symbols and how they work. The grail right here is the woman, as you can see the shape of it. You understand? You see the shape? It's also on his left side. The left side is feminine. That's why it's red. So this side will be the twin flame of this side. This is half and half man, half woman. He's showing you the circle represent what? Male, male, Ra, the circumference. So this right here, it will be Isis and Ra. This will be the perfect representation, like your right side, your left side, your two hemispheres of your brain. But do you know how to use them alchemically? Do you understand what's going on? So that's what this is about. You see, this is alchemy stock picture. Why would it be alchemy if he's just standing there holding a penny? You understand what's going on here? So this is deeper understanding of what's inside you that the Illuminati control you through. Once you get an idea of what's going on, you'll be able to not have its influence over you. You won't be spelled. For you to understand deeper, let's look into it more. Let me give you another example. Look at this right here. Watch this. You see this? This is a medieval picture, right? This medieval picture is trying to tell you something about yourself. You see? And I'll teach you one right here. You see, this is where Jesus get his self stabbed. You always see the spear in Jesus's right here. You know what's right here? Your adrenaline gland, or you produce adrenochrome. This is what they all want. This is the big juicy part right here. You can look it up. Look up where you got your adrenochrome gland or your adrenaline gland. You'll see it's right over there, right above your liver or whatever this is right here. Now, here's what I'm trying to put you on. Each one of these weapons, as you can see, is not a weapon. Each one represents a zodiac, the influence of a zodiac. You understand, with Pisces at the bottom. Everybody know Pisces is on the feet. So it's at the bottom is Pisces. You see these things? But these zodiac influences have influences over you. And so each one of them is connected to a different organ on your body. The medieval is showing you these in this picture. This is not some gory thing. This is a zodiac picture of what's connected to your endocrinology system, or how you leave your body through these vortexes or chakra points that even Jesus represent and still mimic with his spear through his side. And so did Odin. If you look up Odin on the tree, you see he has the spear through him. All of these are symbolic of this journey that you have to take that they don't want to teach you about. You understand what I'm saying? So once you see this, then you get a greater understanding of what's really good. It's a shame they broke all my cameras, man. My phones is broken. I can't even post. I can't call nobody. Everything is broken. Now, here you're looking at one ray of light. If you ever take a light and you ever take your ring and put it real close to your eye, and then you're going to see one snowflake, a circle. This is what's inside of it. That right there is that's a world with you coming from one of the circles. But your job is to complete all the circles. That's why you see in the center is the woman, the queen, twin flame, or the different societies of it. And outside of it, once you get it, you become the magi. You see that magi right here. This is a word. But with it, it gives you the ability to become an artist. You have intuition. This is all intuition you're seeing. And the creativeness. Look at them all doing their thing, writing, creating. So through this, it gives you the liberal arts, the basics of you to be able to understand truth from deception. Without it, anybody could tell you anything and you can lie. They can lie to you. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for you to understand that image and that circle, because the circle is what this is all about, really. You know, I just wanted to give you these lessons because we've been misunderstanding what's going on, and without the proper knowledge of it, we're going to still be deceived. So you have to see it all, aside from what's outside of you, the deception of our government, that is. I'm teaching you about the other spiritual. As you can see, the circle come up again, and inside the circle is things, worlds. These worlds is what we're discussing now in this. So I'm going to bring it around so you could get an understanding. What is these circles and what is he trying to get at with this? Because this is going to fuck you up. I want to move it so that I could give you the key to it first before I start. Let's get to the code. Okay, yeah, this will give you the code. Everything has a code. Just want you to know that. Here go the code right here. I just passed it. Simple code. Okay. Let me see. Alright. There we go. Let me come down. This one here is a dead giveaway and an easy one to make you understand what's going on here. Once you get the code, this is going to be how you can read all their symbols and get to see alchemy being present right here. This is the code giver right here, the key. Let's look at it. Right here, the caduceus. This is your spine. They're showing you the code, easy to understand. These two spine goes down to the two balls, and a woman the two ovaries, right and left ovaries. This would be the vagina in the woman or the penis in the man. These is the energies of Ida and Pingala crossing your spine, as you can see. And these is the energies right here that they produce to make your chakras alive, Kundalini. So you're looking at Kundalini laid out in an esoteric way, but you only need to know every time you go between a vertebrae, you enter a circle. This is the circle right here. And in it is a world. Those worlds is what we're emotionally going through, our mental state, our psychological state. Those is called gatekeepers. You understand? You see how it's a man and a woman, Ida and Pingala. That's what it represents. So now you get an understanding when they see these little symbols. These is chakras, genetics, DNA. These is the symbols of life. You can always see them. How you know this? Now, since I showed you the code, I'm going to show you a different one. And you're going to be able to understand what you're looking at a little bit more. Because this, like I said, got to do with you. So let's make this a little bigger and you get an understanding. So you see it again right here, the circle of life. Everything is coming from down here, the mundane you, the regular you, as you start to ascend up your spine, the Kundalini going into different chakras with different worlds is inside one of yourself, remembering who you are. You understand? You see this genetic test right here? If you was to take this one and bring it over to this one, you're going to see a perfect same Kundalini line, or the serpent, this thing we just saw that formed the figure 8 going down, or genetic line right here. That's it. It's showing you this is inside you, with this whole image being the mandala. As you go up in ascension, you form. You see all the symbols in it, of like the Masonic symbol of the compass and the squares, just because your body is in dodecahedron shape that make those triangles. That's the smallest. Take a microscope and put it closest to your skin, and the only dimension you could get is a triangle before it bends off into another triangle and break off into a bunch of triangles. That's it. You understand? So as you come up now, you see up here is your higher self. This is the what we call Jesus, or the universal soul. You see everything is encompassed in him. You see his arms stretch out and it goes around. He's right here on the side again. He's over here on the bottom again. He's over here again. They're all one. But at each angle, he's different by zodiac trait of different angle of lights hitting at him at different occasion. Give him a different attribute that makes each one of them different, as you can see, but it's the same. Now, once you pass that, you don't have these influences no more. This is the spirit world up here, the higher world. You understand? And up here is when you're done. You're sitting on the throne. That's why he's in the physical place, Panani, the symbol for creation. He's the creator right here. You see him sitting on the throne, and his look would be something like an amorphic animal, everything look. As you can see, you have to pass the stars and the sun and the moon to pass and get up to this level. It's the ultimate level. Look at you leaving your crown would be someplace over here. You see the head or whatever. Even this is a body that you see your body stretched out like a circle right here to form the whole circle of the zodiac. This also is inside of you. So you have to do your body, your mind, your spirit, and your soul to get yourself up to these higher worlds. They're saying they got the ancestors watching on the side right here. But up here is the spirit. This would have been Neith or night crossing over the whole situation as you see in the Egyptian pictures. It's equal to the same thing. This is equal to the magnetic field. That's why it has magnetic lines. Magnetic lines. You see the lines? Whenever you see these lines, it indicate magnetic field. You see it here again, magnetic field. You see it? And this is the man sitting on the throne, symbol of creation. You understand? Above him, the gold, the highest symbol of peace, unity, oneness. That's it right there. See, these things is easy. Once you see one, the rest of them is the same carbon copy of it. I hope this didn't get complicated and I ain't just bore you. But I wanted you to know what's inside your body, how your body works, how your psychology works. The shit that they using against you, that you think you're seeing demons and spirits and a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just a basic biophysiology of our ancestors that they don't know exists today. So, just wanted to give you that lesson so you know what's going on. Let me see if I could get to... Let's take this image right here. You see how they codify this real quick? Look at this. These are the same chakras up here. You see the chakras? The same like when you drop a rock into a puddle, it makes these little swirls. These is in your eyes. When you become your higher self, the lower self, the dragon, as you can see, how you get an angel with a halo riding on a dragon. How divine is that? Because see, we represent Kundalini. This is your higher self and your lower self. When Kundalini activate, you become one. So they're showing you these things in these images. All of them is basically showing you the circle, Kundalini, as you can see over here, his lower self, or his Devi. This is in the circle of light. And you can see how the sun and the moon is needed to make the transmutation. What is he doing? He's sun staring. He's moon staring. He's staring into these things. With these now actually producing, you see how the Egyptians hold their hands? The same thing. He's holding his hand in the Mudalara. And these little dots indicate different dimensions. You'll see them on hieroglyphs around the beings, the different dots represent each one. So he's in his logo, his solar logo, the sun, the circle. You understand? That's what all these represent. That's why they look like that. You see him? He's in the solar logo. He's completed. He ascended. He finished. He moved up the apophysis to a God level. So this is what we don't know with these brothers, that they're doing it. And this is what it means. These lines I told you represent magnetic field. Everything is in the magnetic field. There's nothing in this world that they created by accident. They did it purposely. We just don't understand what chakras is, multi-dimensional stuff is, the stuff they do to acquire these knowledge. Now look at the world. The world, the true universe itself, is divided up into these animals. Look at the serpent of Hydra, or whatever the case may be. You have to travel these things. You understand? They don't let you know that all these is inside there and these beings is real until you go through your own ascension and you experience these for yourself. As you can see, it's showing you the different levels of your chakras here and how it grows. It goes from the small one to this medium one and get bigger and bigger, your different worlds. It's right in front of your face. It's showing you that. So when you're looking at it from a closer point of view, this is the medieval version of it right here. You see the circle? They make the circle. This one now you'll be able to understand it. Each one of the circles connected to you. Remember the knives stabbing through the body? Here go the different zodiac animals. Scorpio, you see, what's this, Libra or whatever. Each one has a different connection to a different organ in your body. The serpent represents Kundalini. Your true self, you have wings, you're an angelic being. This is how you would look in your true pure form. You understand? But you would first have to get from the four gatekeepers. These four is the four evangelists or the four gospel writers or the four winds. You see their faces? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're in the corners. They hold the circle together until you ascend and could get out of the influences of the zodiacs. or the influences of the Illuminati, as it would say in real life. Once you do that, you will be able to leave your body, or you will see the Matrix from the way they say Neo see it, not from the way that it's being played out. So that's what these images that you're seeing represent. Let me see. It's the same. It's the same as making something like clocks inside clocks inside clocks. When I showed if you ever saw the video that I put out, Rainbow Body, with the circles, this is what you're seeing with the little orbs that's coming out my hands, and I'm showing them reflecting. This is what they're showing you in their symbology. If you could take yourself to this level, you're on a higher level. You understand? Your perception go up. You have influences and different abilities. It's not a matter of manipulating the people. That's financial wise. That's for the government to make money. Now, here it is again. These is ancients teaching us or leaving us information about ourselves that we never get it. He says the above diagram gives a combined expression of the relation which the signs of the zodiac sustain to the different portions of the body. You hear that? The signs of the zodiac sustain to the different portions of the body, and also to the neutral position in relation to the 7 planets, to the 7 vital functions of the system. The form of woman is selected as being the mother principle and word of all things. So you see right here, that's this image over here. Let me make it a little bigger. Like I was showing you before, each one of the different body parts is connected to a zodiac. So you see Pisces, like I said, is under the feet, and you got the goat, Capricorn at the knees. Y'all know this. Y'all should know this by heart by now. So our ancestors used to heal by using the constellation zodiacs and some type of meditation to actually heal these different organs instead of using the way we go about it that we do today. So I just wanted you to see a lot of our emotions, the way we feel, is actually being influenced by these zodiacs, which is just a pathway for actually entities, beings, minds, thought form to control us, because we are not aware of what these things are. We wasn't given the instructions. Well, I'm here to give you the instructions. You understand? Same thing as you can see, the man has the same influences as the woman from the zodiac, but you ain't gonna find these pictures in existence today. You know, and so it has its positive influence and it has its negative influence. It's how you look at it. You know, so. Okay, so I don't have to read that one. You already know that one. So, let me just take this into another level. Now, as you can see right here, you see the symbol, the eye. And right above the eye, he has the circle. They're in a circle. So you get to see the eye has a lot to do with it, the Kundalini. And you see the circle again. These things have a lot to do with it. Without giving up the ancestor secrets too much, let me get off that picture. Alright, so let's go to the next one real quick. And you can see here, everything that I'm telling you, it has real meaning, because this is a alchemical process. Figures representing the alchemical process. You see, transformation. So these, you can't take them serious. You can't take them like how we take them. This is a process you go through to get to yourself to the next level. You understand? It's been written in history from the medieval people who try to bring it back up. As you can see here again, is a beautiful picture of it being laid out for us, which is basically saying through the sun and the moon, you become these serpent gods again, rising back up from the earth, higher being style. You understand? Trinity is in the sun, or your pathway through. I don't know, Illuminati use it for all types of stuff that got people kind of fucked up with it, but I'm giving you the truth of it, not the superstitious of it, not from worshiping it from any point of views. It's just what it's designed by nature to do. Africans was doing this. You understand? It's out of the midst of doubt and despair emerged the 12 symbolic human types on their way to the temple of wisdom to receive their initiation into the mysteries, and they are complacent the new responsibility awaiting them. And the beginning of a new phase of life eternal is the entry of the Sectum Centurum, spirit of the alchemist. So this is alchemy for the alchemist. You know, that's your calling, that's your thing. That's what that's about. It's not for everybody, but that's what it's about. So there's book, like there's this one called Codex Seraphinus, where these symbols is in it, and we never understood them. They said these books ain't never been decoded. Well, all these are is leaves. They took leaves, just like the Sanskrit people. This is the Vanyik manuscript. This one right here that they say have never been decoded. These is leaves. They took leaves pattern and they showing you biologically. And I'm not telling you this like this is leaves. No, these is germs, genetic germs. Look, you see it right here again? This is you. You're this. They're showing you in different dimensions, in different perspective. Let me show you. Hold on. This thing is swirling. You already know about the flower life, the lotus flower, so this shouldn't be new to you. But this is more alchemical because the different parts now of it is in there. They tell you about the chakra, how it forms and it drops. This will be how the chakra looks, how it looks. How you know this is chakra, look down here at the bottom. Oh, I'm gone. Look down at the bottom and what you get, the root, they try to sauce it up, but you're looking at DNA. You see the DNA symbol right here? One go this way, one go that way. So this will be the vagina. This is the top of the head. This is the spine. This is very simple, my friend. They try to trick you up like we ain't conscious and we don't know what's going on. To verify it, I'm going to show you how they crisscross the roots to make them DNA and codify it. If you look, is it on this one? Look. You see how the roots crisscross? DNA. You see the DNA symbol, the number 8. You're always going to see that. They always do that to show you it. Let me show you it again. This is this is a chakra. Y'all don't know chakras. It's going to be kind of undefinable to you. But I'm putting you on to what chakras is. That's why you don't get it. So they got this book called Codex Seraphinus. This is like beings. They don't know where this book came from and how to translate it, But this is, to me, I understand these things. These is very simple to understand because these are the things that we don't see that is called invisible beings that exist. This is from the book. You see them? And like plants, bacteria. This is what this is. That's what they're showing you. And, alright, let me see something. You say, how you know this? Alright, they even show you how to mutate. This is genetic mutation. How to mutate different vegetables, putting 2 vegetables together to make a third one. What's this all about? I'm about to put you on alchemy. How do I know this is an alchemical book and using nature to use a symbolic writing? I'm going to put you on again. You see? They put the flower, the different stages of the flower is the different development of yourself, and then you ascend, you fly away. This is what this is telling you. And this has been also, there's more to this book, it's not over. But I wanted to just show it to you because I look for this consistently in all history. This is also in the Mayan shit too. This is the same alchemy information that I'm showing you. This is your spine. This is your spine. This is Ida Pingala, and this is the spinal cord. And these are the beings that inhabit your body. That's all this is right here. Simple. Every one of them is the same thing. this also too, let me explain to you. The Mayas was the first one to make this, like, where they invented board games. That's where board games come from. But here you go again. This is your spine. This is all this is. This is the action that goes on in your spine. Jacob's ladder. That's all this is. You understand? Once you be able to understand these things, you'll be able to read them and figure them out. So let me give you something. Let me see if I find it. Okay, there's some more information I wanted to show you real quick on this. Alright. Now, this is where we be messing up at, because we see the image with our eyes, then our mind has something in it that codify it. This comes from the soul, the frame provided by the soul. So you see, the soul gives us the picture. So you don't see outside of yourself, you only see inside of yourself. You just never knew why. Now, a quick little run through of this little presentation to give you a greater understanding of our ancient past. These is the earth of everybody view of the earth. They have different perspective. Columbus see it as a magnetic field. You see the magnetic field in the sphere. You got your east, west, north, south, right? Look at this one right here. Kepler's diagram, the love connect of the relative distance of the planets. So you see, he got them as the platonic solids, the different shapes. You understand? And your body do go through these, which is called the tetrahedron. And that's what I was telling you, we live in a tetrahedron. They understood these sciences way back, way back before we did. That's why they have the circle. Everything is always in the circle, the ring, the husbandman. Everything is the circle, which is the tetrahedron. So even when you see like crop circles and everything, all you're doing is seeing a replication of the cosmology of our star system. So here it is again. We're inside here, the field, the magnetic field. But showing the Earth as a hollow sphere with a polar opening and central sun. The letters at the top, bottom, or diagrams indicate the various steps in imagery journey through the planet's interior. So you see, you got an inner Earth and an outer Earth, like how you say, as above, so below. So you have a center that is a core, but it ain't available to everybody. It's only available to higher beings that could receive this and leave their body. And it's deep science, put it like that. How is this possible? I'll tell you through this thing right here called Kundalini, right? This serpent Kundalini energy, as you can see, we're going to read. The most important of the nadis are the central channel, Shushramana, and its two flank channels, the white lunar and Ida, and the left and red solar nadis, Pingala, on the right. The Shushma nadi runs from just below Medullary, extended to the forehead through the spinal column. Within Shushma nadi are the three more sub-channels, Vajra, Chichinari, and whatever, Brahma nadi, the innermost through which Kundalini moves upwards. Two currents of psychic energy flow through Ida and Pingala from the premium at the base of the spine, spiraling in opposite direction around the Shushma, which meets them between the eyebrows. Shushma remains closed at the eyebrows and as long as Kundalini is not awakened. So we don't get the full energy as long as not awakened. But this is your body with this coming out your eyebrows. You see what's going on here? The serpent power is the coiled up dormant state. Rajas, 19th century, on paper he drew this. So I just wanted to show you what we saw in the medieval is just a variant of what I just showed you of that same serpent. But they have codified it into this system. But what's the importance of them having drawn these things is what you have to ask yourself. Why are they codifying it? Why is this telling me about these different forms of it, and why is it so secretive, and where you have the secret government? So once you realize all of this, you realize there's something else going on that we've been lied to and perpetrated on. Even this is your spine. That's all this is, and all the different parts. And you will soon get the hang of it. By these became our symbols and designs and paisleys and all that stuff. But at one time, it wasn't just paisleys and designs. They had an actual symbolic alchemical meaning. Well, I'm bringing you back to that. Remember I was telling you about Odin? Look where Odin got the spear through. You see him right here with it through his what is it? Adrenochrome gland, or where you astral project through. You understand? That's why it's important. Even all of us, we go through it with ancestors. When you go through ancestor lessons, you got to be going through torture and trauma. That's why you see people go through mental institute, because they induce the adrenochrome in you through that gland that I'm telling you about. These is actually our ancestors. That's why you see all the pygmies. I told you the Bushman, all them people have the Hat family, because you have from Legba to Oshun-Ogun and a whole bunch of these other characters. But as you can see here too in this picture, it still go back to the adrenochrome right around the area. I forgot, it ain't the abdomen. It's behind it, and that's where people astral project from. You understand? And that's where you get adrenaline and the adrenochrome gland. So I just wanted to put y'all on so you see what's going on. Aside from the nasty pictures, but I'm here to teach. I'm not here to worry all about that stuff. So let's take this off now. I think I'm done talking. I'm done with y'all for the night. We good. We're about to get up out of here. And I appreciate y'all coming through and chilling and whatnot, let me see. This computer be taking this time. Let me turn this off. Video capture. Did I do it right? Whatever. Alright, y'all. Let me see what we got over here. Me out or whatever. I'm gonna keep it going. Let me see some of these comments. I have a whole lot of books on alchemy and mysticism. I understand some of it, but I know I should be looking for something. That's what's up. That's what's up. And you need any help, Kwara L, I see you. Peace and love, Raven. It's good to see you. We have 72 Gotia demons that live within us. That's right, Faculty Rocket. And that's what they using against us. That's why you see a lot of people out there protesting and don't know they're letting that out. But you see a lot of the new generation is in control of themselves, which is good. Skylance 101, you're welcome anytime. I'm glad to see y'all there. And like I said, all my digital devices is all acting up right now. It seems like they send me a whole bunch of bugs and a whole bunch of viruses. And until I fix it, y'all just gonna have to bear with me for a quick minute till I get it together. You understand? So I'm trying to get it popping, but from where I'm at, this thing is freezing up like crazy. Everything freezing up. Oh man, I'm done. I'm gonna just end this. We made it. They didn't delete it, so let's now push it. I hope everybody stays safe for this season right now. Hold y'all heads. I'm going to try to get something to come back and broadcast and discuss more of what's going on, so we know, not from propaganda, but from like somebody you trust. And believe me when I tell you, I'm going to let you know. Alright? University of Conscious Science. One love, y'all.